Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you. Welcome to day 9 of the Sajdah Deca Fest. We are talking about gratitude and reflection. And my goal is to get through this without crying, because I'm dedicating this show in my 10-day celebration to my spiritual journey to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So grab your coffee. I got water today. Share, tell a friend, support, like, and subscribe, because they may take this one down. I'll see y'all in a few. I'll be right back.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
I have received so many pleasures, so many very good to look at, whether you own them or not. It's a pleasure just to look at such presents. Why, I have never witnessed so many presents. I think I have to build me a house for presents. This shows what Allah can do for you and me if we believe in Him.
There is nothing that we could not accomplish in the name of God. You know what your problem is? You don't have even a worthy goal to strive after. I'm going to give you an assignment today. Here's an assignment. Is this something you want? Do you want something? Something that you want, but you have not been able to get it? Huh? Close your eyes. Do you see it? Whatever it is that you want, first envision it. You got the picture. Do you see it? All right, now the question is, you have to claim what you see. I claim this. I claim it. I believe with all my heart in the name of God that I'll bring what is in my imagination into reality. We're gonna bring it back like it never was. I see in the dome the name Allah written in Arabic. But I can't just dream, I gotta go to work. How do you bring it into concrete reality? First, without faith, you can't work the vision.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you, and welcome to day 9 of the Sajdah Deca Fest. And today's show is about gratitude and reflection, and I am dedicating it to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So if you're scared, just click off now, because I was just reflecting on this and I got a little emotional while I was playing the commercials, because I was thinking about how so many of us are afraid. And so many of us, we're scared to show a video of him or anything on our pages because we don't want somebody to take it down, or we're afraid of what somebody's going to say to us, or we're afraid that maybe we're not going to get the job, or maybe we're not going to get the contract, or maybe we're not going to get this or that, whatever it is that we desire, if we show that we respect and love this man. When we talk about this 10-day Deca Fest, there would be no Deca Fest. There would be no journey for me from my physical birth anniversary to my spiritual anniversary were it not for this man. And so the entire series is about him setting me on this journey. Because if it wasn't for him standing up, if it wasn't for him encouraging us to be better. Listen, here's a man who encourages us to have courage, to have integrity. I'm talking about the highest degree of integrity, almost to the point where sometimes it's frustrating to people. But yet, folks got a problem with our love for him. This is a man who has been a father to me since I met him. Since I left Indianapolis, after having been there a short stint, getting my ex, starting this spiritual journey, moved to Chicago at the request of his laborers to work at the National Center to help with accounting, business development, and whatever I could. He's just always been a father, pulling out and teasing out the best of us, guiding, supporting, motivating, teaching. So when I see people treating him a certain way, it hurts and angers me. But he even does not encourage that hurt and anger to turn into anything other than increased faith. More faith, more love. That's just what he keeps coming with. More love, more faith. He sacrifices himself and his family for us. He's taking on powerful people in the United States of America for us. But a lot of us are scared. Even a lot of us as Muslims, we scared. We don't, we got a little job. We don't want nobody to know. We got a few little contracts that we think we're going to get. We don't want anybody to know. Let me tell you something. The absolute greatest thing that has ever happened in my life was having that man decide that I was something special to him, and not apart from any other person. But I'm talking about the level of love and attention I cannot thank Allah enough for. Cannot thank Allah enough for. The wisdom, the intelligence, the guidance, the boldness, the strength, the nurturing, the honor, the respect. I'm at a loss for words, really, to be honest with you. I brought some videos with me today because if you've never taken the time to experience the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I strongly suggest, no matter what race or background you are, but especially if you are a Black person in the world, experience this man. Don't let nobody tell you that something's wrong with him, that he's a hater. I'm somebody who's been a soldier. He's never told us to be violent. He's never told us to hurt anybody. He's always encouraged love, been an example of love. I mean, at times where our patience would run thin. But it's just be your best. Be greater. Study. Learn. It's all about pushing us to greatness. It's all about the proper handling of people. It's yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. He teaches us, manners and levels of civilization that we never, ever would likely have had access to. So I want us to place him in our hearts. Because I would tell you something that I've done as I've traveled around the world. He taught me to nurse on this book right here. This is my travel Quran. You see the condition that it's in? I'm holding it like this because it's about to fall apart. Taking this with me all around the world because of his encouragement. When I left the National Center, my intention was to take a break, a 6-month break, and come back. Allah had different plans. I started getting moved around the world, around the country. And then I started feeling a sense of guilt, like, man, what do I do? Do I give up these blessings and the opportunities that I've been given? Or do I pay attention to what Allah is trying to show me and put in me? But I kept saying, but I miss my minister. And Allah showed me how to do something. I started doing heart meditations with him in my heart. I started thinking about what it felt like to be in his presence, to have conversations with him, to have him cast out demons that I didn't know was there, to have him scan and prophesize. Yeah, I'm talking about that. I know y'all think that it's just Christian ministers but listen. And it creates a certain feeling in my heart. And there was just a familiarity about it. And so I started to take that and place it in my heart. And every time I missed him, every time I was facing something difficulty, he's right here. I can call him up, and I've practiced this so much, I can call him up and feel him in my heart anytime I want. If I'm a winner, if I'm a loser, if I'm being attacked, if I'm hurt, if I'm tired, he's right here. And so I call it my Jesus within. And there'd be times where I'd be going through something or dealing with something, and it would just come up unannounced. And I'll say, let me take that moment to reflect. When I would be in my hotel rooms digging into this travel Quran, travel Holy Quran, that man who encouraged me to do so was in my heart and remains in my heart. So when I see those of us denying what Allah has done for us through him, it's troublesome. See, because you can't deny somebody who gives you life, somebody who gives you tools and techniques to help you improve your life, improve your health, who brought back the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You see, because the nation had fallen, it had gone. He could have went back into show business. He's a very, 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 very talented person. Just supernaturally talented in a number of different disciplines that y'all don't even know nothing about. He could have gone and done anything and probably by now be a billionaire and then some. But he said, I'm going to raise the nation. He couldn't stand to see his father's name being dragged through the mud. And so he sacrificed. Stood in front of Jesse Jackson as he took bullets when he was a candidate for president. See, this ain't our first rodeo at a black candidate. He stood in front of him. He's been taking those little pot shots, and I'm calling them little pot shots because he's grown in the midst of those attacks to the point where it's like little pot shots. He's manifest. He's given us an example of manifesting in the face of controversy. He never once said, I didn't say that. He never once said, I'm going to blame this on Jesse. He just kept rolling, kept taking hit after hit after hit, looking in the face of those of us that he loves so much and watching us deny him, not wanting to be around him. Imagine the pain of that. He just kept going deeper and deeper into his faith, lie after lie, false accusation after false accusation, all kinds of negative comments. He just kept and keeps going. But not just keep going in any old kind of way. Keep going and evolving and loving and growing. He's got the power and backing of God himself. Whatever he says, it's just be, and it is. He is, I am. His spiritual gifts, they're not even spiritual gifts. They are who he is. You're talking about a reader. You're talking about a seer. You're talking about someone who can love you into success. Somebody that can love a people so hard that he puts a protective shield around us in the face of people who are trying to kill us and enslave us all over again. He has protected us. He's traveled around the world. Friendship tours, this delegation, that travel, making friends for us. Guiding us, protecting us, keeping us from acting a fool, because some of us, let me tell you something, the fears that you have when you see some of these young brothers and sisters would be at your doorstep were it not for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You think it's bad out here now. But were it not for him teaching us, do for self, be patient. Don't carry guns. We don't carry as much as a penknife. We carry the armor of God. This is my testimony. So when we're talking about my Deca Fest, it wouldn't be Deca nothing without this man. I want to show you a quick video. We're going to look at a couple videos today, but this first video, well, just reflect on it. I'm going to let y'all check it out because it's filled with so much love and gratitude for us that you just got to see it. And I want you guys to do me a favor while you're watching it. I want you to take and place your hand over your heart. And I want you to feel the tenderness of your heart. I want you to feel the power of your heart. I want you to feel the strength of your heart. I want you to feel the miracle of your heart, that you don't have to do anything in order for it to work. Even if you got a pacemaker or a defibrillator up in there, you ain't doing nothing to make it beat. Well, guess what? You don't have to do anything to make this man's heart beat for you. Place your hand on your heart and while we check out this video.
You cannot achieve the impossible. Now, people are always telling you what is impossible. Come on. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, brother, you can't do that. Oh, sister, no, you can't do that. And if you believe it, you won't even try. That's right. That's right. That's right. But when you have faith in God, there is no thing that is impossible. Now, how could that be? Because when God created this whole universe from nothing, he destroyed the impossible. I'm going to say that again. And I want you to hear it and think about it. And once upon a time, none of this existed. And the Creator created it from nothing. Then what's impossible with him? See, a lot of things are impossible without him, but there is nothing impossible with him. Now look, brothers, see, when you don't have faith, real faith in God, you don't even attempt things that people say are impossible. But when you have faith in God, you will try the impossible and find it's quite possible. So faith in God is a key to accomplishing anything in life that you desire. Now look at this. And I know you've heard me say this in times past, but I want to reiterate it again because of how true it is. Just as a baby on its mother's breast for the first time does not know that milk is there, but will keep on pulling until some milk appears. That's faith. It's the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. When you look at this universe, everything that you need to make life beneficial to you is already here. Think of anything you want, it's already here. You ain't got to create nothing, it's here. But the question is, how strong is your pull on the mammary gland called the universe? Because the universe is a giant breast. I'm going to say it again, since all these brothers like to think about, excuse me, sisters. I'm trying to help you with simple things to understand great things. If you can see the universe as a breast, I'm not being vulgar, but that's exactly what it is. And if that baby can pull on the breast, believing, hoping something gonna be there, and that hope and that belief is rewarded because milk comes, then you have to learn how to pull on this universe to get the things out of life that the God who created this and you promised. What do you want? Well, brother, I want to pay my bills. It's done. What do you want? That's all you want? Oh, that's spunk stuff. But you ain't even gonna pick up on the heavy stuff if you can't get by the little stuff. And the little stuff that's messing your head up is denied to you because you don't have faith. Yes, sir, that's right. The scripture says, if you had faith, the grain of a mustard seed, you could say to the mountain, be removed, and it would be so. What kind of mountain do you have in your life that you can't move? And have you ever seen how small a mustard seed is? It is so tiny. I have some at home. I shared it with Brother Minister Ishmael and some others that were at my table. I just put a mustard seed in their hand. He can even hardly find it. That's how small it is. And then Jesus said, if you only had faith that small, you could say to a mountain, be removed. So what mountain is in your life that's troubling you? I've got a lot of problems. So tell me something new. That's what life is. Life is problems. So what? If you don't have a problem, you're not here. So where are you? When God brought you here, he brought you here to give you a problem. And the solution to your problem is also here. But if you lack faith, you walk around like a dog chasing your tail, and you never quite make it in life because you are a faithless individual. That's your problem. Afraid, and you ain't got no faith. So you got to live by schemes. You got to try and trick somebody. When they ain't looking, take their wallet, you pickpocket. You learn craft and steal. You learn how to manipulate silly people to take from them. And a whole universe out here ready to give you its treasure. But you are a punk. And you doing punk stuff.
You know, they always got to add some weird videos or images at the end, but I wanted you all to hear the words. Talk to me in the chat about how you felt in your heart as you embraced your heart and listened to those powerful words. Let me know. Let me know in the chat how you all felt. Who's teaching us like that? Who's been teaching us like that? Who's loving us like that and teaching us that no matter what problem we are facing, I'm saying during the Deca Fest, no matter what problem I was facing, following his words and his guidance like that has helped me to be triumphant each and every time. Humbly triumphant. Humbly triumphant. Any problem you're dealing with. Nobody teaches like this man. Thank you, Brother Robert 11X. Nobody teaches like this man. Nobody is teaching us to love like this. So when you say, well, Wendy, what keeps you going? What kept you going? It is that mental, physical, and spiritual training and guidance that I started to nurse on from the very moment that I first heard his voice in 1990. So very grateful. Some people say, well, I don't know where I would be. I have an idea of where I would be. And I'm going to be real transparent and I'm going to tell y'all. See, because, and this is really no shade to any of the sisters that I'm going to mention. No shade to you at all. Brother Lamont said he's fighting back tears when he thinks about what that man has done for him. The past 25 years have been trial after trial, but his words have been sufficient. Brother Robert 11X said, no one teaches like this man. Sister Aurelia says, I felt vindicated, still pulling on the universal mammary gland. It is real. It is real. So, no shade to any sister that I'm going to mention, okay? Because there's respect there for these sisters and what they've accomplished. I was on an educational and professional trajectory that, were it not for September 9th, 1990, which is the reason for this Decafest, were it not for that moment of joining the Nation of Islam, starting this journey of self-improvement, because that's what really joining the Nation of Islam is. People think it's not just marching and drilling, although that is our exercise of the gods. It's not what the media would tell you. It's about a mirror being put up in your face, and you got to deal with all the ugliness that you see. You got to improve your life so that you can be on the road to becoming a god. This is why a lot of people fall away and fall out of the nation. It's not because they can't eat pork or because they can't have sex with random people. It really ain't got nothing to do with that. A lot of it is because, that's part of it, but a lot of it is because that mirror that goes up in your face, that makes you look at yourself, makes you see all the things that you do and are doing that are pinching you off from your creator, from God. See, when you don't want to face that stuff, then you use deceptive intelligence. Well, they tripping. I can't eat no pork. So you're going to throw away your whole salvation just to go eat some pork? You're going to throw away a divine self-improvement process over a pork chop or some bacon? So you go, okay, no, I ain't studying no more. I can't do this. No, I like messing around with people, or I like doing this. All these excuses, because you really just probably want to go back to what you're comfortable with. See, something happens in your brain when you develop bad habits. When you develop a bad habit, you start identifying with that habit. Even if you think you're a corporate person and you think you all of that, we still even going about finding relationships. The way we do it is by playing Russian roulette with sex. So I was on a trajectory, a professional and educational trajectory that somebody would have looked at if they went all back to my background and the gifted classes, the grades, the demeanor. They would have said, she's going to be a Condoleezza Rice. I was on my way to an international finance program. I had already filled out the paperwork. And when the sister invited me out to hear the minister, I was like, I'll go. And I was going out with my friends. We used to go to this place in Broad Ripple, Indianapolis called the Vogue. And it was on a Thursday night when he was coming out to speak. And my girls was like, girl, we're going to the Vogue. What is wrong with you? I was like, yeah, but we told the sister that we was going to come out. And she gave us these tickets to hear Minister Farrakhan. And they was like, okay, well, that started at 7. You go to that. We're going to go to the Vogue and get us a table near the dance floor. Because we all thought that we were fly girls from In Living Color. That's how we used to dance. That's what we thought we were. So we couldn't wait to get us a seat and a table down by the dance floor so we can pretend like we was fly girls from In Living Color. Real talk. So we're going to get us a seat. You go hear the minister. And I said, okay. Went to go hear. Needless to say, I ain't never been back to the Vogue. Don't have no desire or plan to go back to the Vogue or be a fly girl or to be Condoleezza Rice or Kamala Harris. No desire. But that was my professional trajectory. So when I went to the side of the stage after the lecture to tell the sister who brought me in, I wanted her to see my face that I had honored the word and didn't throw the tickets away. She said, oh, let me introduce you to somebody. So she introduced me to Brother Kamal. I think Brother Wazir came over there. I don't know which one. One she introduced me to, and then the other one came over. But at that time, I met Brother Kamal Muhammad, who was the national secretary, and Brother Wazir Muhammad, who was the national accountant. Brother Kamal Muhammad is also one of the sons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I met them there on the side of the stage. And Brother Kamal said, nice to meet you, sister. Do you have a resume? Of course, I ain't got my resume with me. I was supposed to be going to the Vogue. But Brother Wazir said, we need somebody like you. Because sister had told him, she works for a public accounting firm. She's an accountant, da-da-da-da-da. She edified me. And Brother Wazir just was like, no, you need to move to Chicago right now. I said, well, I don't have an ex. I'm not in the nation. And I'm in this program where I'm supposed to be going to France because the goal was to study international finance and I wanted to be an ambassador, to do ambassadorial work with French-speaking countries in Africa. So that was my goal. My undergraduate degree was a dual degree in accounting and finance. So it was almost like a master's degree. And then this was a international finance program that I was going to enter into and then study certain French-speaking African countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Benin. And I wanted to be this ambassador. Probably would have gotten a job like this. Just like Condoleezza Rice went in and she really studied Russia and Russian intelligence. I was going to France to do that, but I wanted an emphasis on those African countries. And they was all excited, right? I had all these letters and I was excited. I had just found out that morning that I had gotten accepted. And then throughout that process, in 2 weeks, I was supposed to go over. I hadn't even told my family yet. And when I stood there on the side of the stage and Brother Wazir was like, you got to move to Chicago. The minister need help. He need people like you. I was like, but he just ignored me. If you know Brother Wazir, you can't tell him nothing. May Allah be pleased with him. You cannot tell him nothing. And I said, well, I don't have my ex. So he said, well, where's the sister captain? So he called Sister Virginia over there and asked her, when can she recite? And Sister Virginia said, well, she can come to class on Saturday and blah, blah, blah. And I did that. I went to study group that next day. went to class on Saturday, and that was July 19th. So my goal was to get through this whole process by my birthday, which was August 30th. August 30th came, and then it was 10 days of me going, sister, can I recite today? Can I recite today? Can I recite today? Because I just got this drive in me that I wanted to recite and hold post. Plus, Brother Wazir was like, call me as soon as you get your X. So that was the press during those 10 days. And so finally on September 9th, 1990, 9990, I recited in the check post like I explained to you all the other day. And there was so much stuff that happened. I'm going to write this in a book one day. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but so much stuff that happened. When I finally spoke to Brother Wazir, he told me that Brother Kamal said, make sure you come to Savior's Day. And I think Savior's Day, that October, we used to call October Savior's Day. It wasn't the Day of Atonement. We had 2 Savior's Day. So to commemorate the birth anniversary of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were in Detroit that year. And so now I got my ex. I'm stressed out because I'm trying to get the uniform. We said, I remember it was $235, they said. And there was a sister in Indianapolis who was collecting the money and who claimed she was going to Chicago to pay for our uniforms, and we was going to get them before Savior's Day. I don't think she took the money to Chicago. We never got the uniforms. We ended up driving on up to Detroit, and I had to go there in my white palazzo pants and a white shirt and a white scarf. And Sister Captain Betsy Jean had us divided up in ranks. So there was the newly registered and the processing sisters, and then the registered MGT. And I was so mad because I wanted to hold posts, and I wanted to be able to go and find Brother Wazir and Brother Kamal with my MGT uniform on, and to show them that I had gotten my X and I'm ready now to get the heck up out of White Town, crazy Indianapolis, and go to Chicago. That was my mindset. I never called those people back about the program in France. I remember a good friend of mine was like, girl, is you crazy? You know how hard it is to get accepted to that? I said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to my PhD program with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that's how I saw it. And I will never forget when they had us divided up in ranks. There was another sister, I think it was Sister Charlene, who divided us up in ranks, and Sister Betsy Jean Farrakhan, who was our national MGT captain at that time, walked into the room. She was the most statuesque, powerful sister I had ever seen in my life. If you know her as a captain, she was very powerful and very influential and very strong. And when she told you to do something, you did it. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to say, but I got my ex, I can hold post. I got on something white, I can hold post. And oh man, I think about this. This is so goofy. When she walked past me, I said, Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. I got my ex. We couldn't get our uniform. I think I was talking a mile a minute. I said, but I know my general orders though. And before she could tell me, I just started spewing out my general orders. And she looked at me, and she looked me deep in my eye. I could feel her looking at my soul. She said, fall in, soldier. Woo. I just got the feeling. You don't even know. I looked, I was like, and I fell right in, and she put me on post. And listen, she had me running. I had to run like to the top of the Cobos arena and go get something, run back. But she put me on post. I finished them general orders. She looked me dead in my soul, and she said, fall in, soldier. And I fell in. Praise be to Allah. Anyway, I'm just grateful. And then the rest is history. Then I moved to Chicago, Brother Wazir, you all have heard that story. He was very instrumental in pointing me towards business and pointing me towards infusing the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad into businesses and policies and procedures, and teaching me that old business models no longer work, that we have to come up with new ways of doing business. He would give me assignments to call somebody on the phone, and he would sit there and listen and then say, I didn't hear no Islam in that conversation. I would turn in a spreadsheet. He'd be like, I can't get this to the minister. I don't see no Islam in this. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he was like the gatekeeper as we was, I would be preparing the reports to give to the minister, and he would just be looking at it. How did I start it? What did I say? He would watch me as I interacted with people and then make me go back and reread the proper handling of people. Said, if you're going to help build the nation's businesses, Allah got to be in it. You can't bring this white folks way of doing things into it. Because remember, I'm steeped in corporate and in their mindset and their methodology to the point where I'm about to go do this ambassadorial program in France. So you already know I got the pedigree and I got the behaviors. He just was mining and teasing that up out. Yes, Sister Aurelia, Sister BJ had that look. She glided in the room. She looked deep in my soul and said, fall in, sister. Pointed her. She never took her eyes off of me, but pointed and said, fall in. Look at us bearing witness to Sister Captain BJ. Yes. Sister BJ had that look. She glided in the room. She always was sparkly. And one of the things that she taught us was to always be beautiful. When the believers would come in from Chicago, we had so many beautiful garments from Mother Tynetta, and we would just want to present and look beautiful like ambassadors, right? Sister Monica said, I know the feeling of the Sister Captain Betsy Jean Farrakhan experiences. Pure joy, no matter the circumstances. Listen, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So before I go, I could go on and on and on about this. Now you got the full, not the full, but you got the full timeline of the reason for the Deca Fest. I have one more video that I want to show you. Oftentimes, where they love to criticize the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is when he speaks on our condition in the face of politicians and the arena where there are people who are supposed to care and do something about do something about it. Deadly but dainty. Yeah, that's her. But I want you to see this video, and I want to show you how apropos it is for today. It also is going to showcase Brother Tom Burrell, who I'm very grateful for. When I first bought the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, and I was living between, so before I went to DC, I was living between Chicago and DC. I then let go of my Chicago properties and was just living in DC. And then after I got the house, I then was living again between Chicago and DC. And in living in Chicago, I rented Tom Burrell's penthouse in the South Loop and got all of that rich energy from his penthouse that I rented. So you'll see him in this clip as well. So thank you all very much for checking this out. After this, I'm gonna come back. We'll say a few words and then we're gonna be out of here, but please don't go. You got to see this. Look, the computer is like, girl, you coming with too much fire on this. We got to slow this down a little bit, but you won't get a chance to.
O.J. Simpson was charged with murder. And in a court of law with a jury of his peers, he was set free. A lot of folk didn't like that, so they sued him. And he lost in court because even though he was not convicted of murder, they said he's responsible. White folk are rich and powerful, the rich and powerful, because black folk worked for 310 years as chattel slaves and got not one day's pay. I could call out the rich and the powerful whose riches have been gotten on our backs, but I'll save that for another time. The point is, the present generation of whites did not do this. But the present generation of whites are in their privileged position because of what a former generation of whites have done. Now the question is, a black agenda should be put before them, because if they don't accept the responsibility to clean up this problem, you don't have a lot of time to wait 40 more years for a benevolent white president or a benevolent black president. That day is over. America is facing the judgment of God as we sit around this table. Look at the weather. Look at the world turning down on her. America is bankrupt. $13 trillion in debt. And if you figure Medicare and Medicaid, she's over $60 trillion in debt. She can never pay it. That's why she voted for $650 billion in armament, because she can't pay the debt. But she can bully those whom she is in debt to with fear over her military prowess. I'm here to tell you she's losing there too. Now I close. Our people need repair.
Yes.
We need repair from 310 years of chattel slavery, where black men were forced to be studs, to make black women pregnant, to make more slaves for the slave master. And that same unhealthy attitude of misusing our women and making babies that we have no desire to take care of is still with us. Willie Lynch, who gave the ways that we could keep being divided so that they could rule us for 1,000 years. That sickness is still with us. Yes, we got a black president, but brother said it was confusion. He confused the issue. But really, he never wants to lose the white vote. So if he loses the white vote, he don't care that you voted for him. But if he loses the white vote, he feels he will lose. Dear brother, if you're watching, out of love.
Out of love.
There it is. That's right.
You won't lose the white vote of those whites that really understand this problem and know that this problem needs to be solved, and we can't keep relegating it to generation after generation because a few of us got a little money, a few of us got positions, a few of us have wealth, while the masses of our people are going steadily down. No one man can rise above the condition of his people.
Amen.
So President Obama, this august body of brothers and sisters that really love you want you to use your bully pulpit, but then after you do that, then what about us? See, brother said responsibility. Is it that we should let them take responsibility to do for us, or should we pool the knowledge that's at the table, the power that's in our community, the wealth that's in our community to change the harsh reality of Black life in America? He can create an atmosphere, but we have to do the job of fulfilling the Black agenda. Thank you very much.
That is a perfect segue to this. Can y'all see this? What's that say?
Brainwash.
Say it again. One more again. Please welcome the author, Tom Burrell. There is a chapter in this book where you talk about the fact, Tom, that we Black folk have been bred to be led.
Bred to be led.
We've been bred to be led. Tell me more.
Well, it starts with the idea, Tavis, that we were sold a bill of goods through false advertising back those 310 years ago that you're talking about. The myth of Black inferiority. The idea, the big lie that somehow we were less than, not as good as white people. That was the claim. The thing that made it more devastating is the fact they put meat on those bones, and for the next 310 years, waged a massive propaganda campaign through the media to substantiate that. The idea that we somehow were less than. The thing that makes it stick is that it is incessant, it never stops. As the media is developed, it is folded right into the media. The images that keep saying to us that we are indeed inferior. We bought it, and we not only bought it, but true to any kind of brainwashing, the brainwashed becomes a part of the brainwashing team. The abused become a part of the abusers. And that's where we are. We are the chief perpetrators of our own victimization. Okay? Now, in the chapter, we talk about disunity. All of the things that we're talking about as it relates to these problems, we would not be talking about if we were not bred to be disunited, to not work together, not to be together. We are 41 million people strong in this country. 41 million, that is a country. That is a country like Argentina, that is a country like Spain. We, in 2012, will be spending $1 trillion. That's the power that we have. Now, you can't tell me that with 41 million people united with $1 trillion, we can't get what we need from this government, okay?
If you don't have that book, Brainwashed, in your library and you have not read it, thank you very much, Brother Robert. That book is powerful. You talking about some data. Listen. All right, y'all. I think you all get the picture. If you don't, go back and listen again and see if you could get it. Thank you all for listening. I hope this motivated you in some way. I hope it gave you courage. I hope it helped to dissolve some fear, because faith really does work. And the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad really do work. They really work, y'all. And you can really be successful utilizing those teachings. You can set yourself in heaven at once. All right, y'all. I pray that you all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I pray that you walk through it with courage and respect and dignity, and that you practice the proper handling of people, support and love, and unite with your brothers and sisters as well. Y'all know what I'm going to ask. You got to give a love offering. Go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises, or hit that super chat button. You can Zelle at wendy100m@gmail.com, but give a love offering. Get in the habit of giving when you receive something of value. You just want to create the flow. All right. So with that, family, tomorrow morning is day 10. Okay. And we're going to talk about evolution and the future. And this is a celebration for all of us. We can do it during this 10-day period. No matter when we got our ex, no matter what happens, we can celebrate during these 10 days. Because a lot of us are sitting around and we're not in the fold like we should be, or like we maybe could be, or maybe we can't be for whatever reason, but we can celebrate the day that we accepted our own and became and got on the road to becoming ourselves. I'll say it that way. All right, family, peace and blessings. We will see you tomorrow, inshallah, for day 10 of the Sajdah Decca Fest. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And stay close and stay tuned, because I got some beautiful announcements coming up for you. All right? This next commercial is a hint.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the